Okay, launch your Visual Studio 2019. Choose the blank template. I'm calling my project as SEQ, short for sequence. Okay, so let us start coding. First is include stdio.h so that we can use printf, and then the main function. Then first let us make a sequence of numbers starting with 9, and then we add 4, we get 13, and then we get 17, 21, 25, and then 29. So I'm putting that in a comment. So let us take this easy, because we want to produce a sequence, and a sequence is a repetition of certain numbers. Sorry, a sequence is a repetition of, in this case, addition to numbers. So we need a for loop. We straight away put the for keyword there, and then followed by the bracket. This will constitute the header for the for loop. We can declare variable inside the bracket. So normally this is the practice for modern C++ coding. We declare the loop parameter inside the bracket in the header. So normally the variable that is used in the bracket is C. We start with what? This is the initialization part. We can straight away start with 9, the very first number that we want to print. And then the separator between the initialization and the condition, the next part in the bracket, is the semicolon. Then the condition, as long as C is less than or equal to 29. Just take whatever last number is, and because this is a sequence that going up, we are doing addition, so we are comparing as long as the loop parameter is less than or equal to 29. And then don't forget, next is the stepping. So the stepping in this case is not C++, because we are not stepping one by one, but we are stepping 4 by 4. So we can write like this: C equal to, or C assigned with C at 4. But to be a good C++ programmer, we don't do like that. We use a more compact operator, which is plus equal. And then we remove the first part of the addition that is repeated. Next, we put the body for the for loop. In this case, everything is done in the for loop header. The starting point is 9, the ending at 29, and the stepping in between, which is 4 by 4, everything is done in the header already. So what do we do in the for loop body? We just print it with printf. Printf, what we want to print? We want to print a sequence of integer, and don't forget to put a space so that we are not printing a non-sensible long string of digits. All right. So %d is a placeholder. It has to be matched with a variable. In this case, what? It is C. Alright? So I'm guessing this is all you need to do if you want to print only the sequence. So let me save, rebuild solution. It is passed. Then let me run it. I have to go to the command prompt, cd desktop, cd seq cd seq. Again, cd debug. Then do I have the executable file? Yes, I have it. So let me run it. So I get the sequence. It is that easy. So to make this more interesting, let us put more work on it. So this way we only print the numbers. Let us total up the number. So we need another variable. Let's say we call it total, TOT, short for total. We want to accumulate the value into this variable, meaning we're still using plus equal. Accumulate from which variable? It is C, the variable that keep the value that we print. So as you can see here, TOT need to be declared because it is undefined. So let us declare it. And because we want to accumulate value to the variable, we need to initialize it. Because if TOT didn't start with a known value, when we accumulate value into it, the accumulated value will be accumulated with garbage. So because this is a summation, we initialize with 0. So where do we print the total? We print right after the sequence is printed, so it is outside the for loop. The for loop is to print the sequence of number. After that, we print the total. What do we want to print? We want to print, of course, %d again, which has to be mapped with TOT. And remember, we need a new line at the beginning because we need to skip the line that was printing the sequence of number before. So save it, rebuild, go back to the command prompt, run again. So I hope this is the correct total of the numbers in the sequence. And to make it even more interesting, let us calculate the average now. So it is quite easy to get the total along the way when we calculate C. But if we want to calculate the average, we need to know how many numbers are there. So we need another variable to keep the number of numbers in the sequence. So we need another integer, and integer, number of integer. We also need to initialize it with 0 because this one will be accumulated with the number of time we iterate through the for loop. So every time we go into the for loop, we register in an int once, meaning we increment an int once to tell that we have come into the body of the for loop once, and we keep incrementing the value. In this way, we get the total number of times we go into the loop. Let us make a proper printing of this. This is total, and then let me put another new line, and I can continue in the same string, but in printing this will be printed in 2 lines because I have new lines separating this part and the next part that I want to print, which is the average. So we need to match this %d with another variable, which is TOT divided by an int. Okay, so I just realized that this division might not give us an integer. So we need to force either one of the integer or both to become double. Otherwise, division of two integers will always give us another integer, which might not be correct most of the time. So we force TOT in this case to become double. Then double divided by integer, we will get a double also, which means this percent %d is not correct. We have to replace it with %f. Save it, rebuild, and then let me clear the screen. Let me run again. You should have realized that I'm pressing up arrow. So you see the average has to be somewhere in between here. If your max is good, you should know that the average is somewhere in the middle, which is 19 over here between 17 and 21. So 19.0, I hope this is a correct average.